What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here, and we are in the world of Dark Souls 3. This is a game that I'd kind of been on the fence about getting, not because I don't enjoy it. I love the Dark Souls series, but it's a love-hate relationship, and many times I get frustrated and, well, not many times, one time. I loved Dark Souls, I loved Demon Souls, I loved Bloodborne. I did not like Dark Souls 2 so much. So I'm hoping that Dark Souls 3 is going to be more like DS1 or maybe like Bloodborne and less like Dark Souls 2, considering DS1 and Bloodborne were both made by the same person as is making DS3, and DS2 was not. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I do want to say right up front that the series will go for as long as, number one, I am enjoying the game, and number two, you guys are enjoying the game. So the best way for you guys to let me know that you enjoy it is, obviously, slap that like button, leave me a nice comment, and, of course, share it with your friends. So the goal that I'm going to have with this... Oh, and the music's off. I apologize for those of you guys who like the music. YouTube copyright is kind of a bitch. If we end up streaming it, I may turn it back on. But for the most part,
yes,
it'll be off.
Indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
That's creepy looking. Oh, wow.
In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words.
If it's Lords of Cinder, why does it look cold?
The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones.
Is that a giant rock on its back? Or is it a turtle shell? Looks like a rock chained to its back.
When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old Lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, Saint of the Deep.
Is it a dragon? Or... no, it's an ooze of some kind. You?
Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers.
Holy shit, those are badass.
And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital.
Holy fuck.
Yon the Giant.
That's gonna suck.
Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones.
Those hands did not belong to that woman.
And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I did manage to get this game for 17% off. I got it from Green Man Gaming. If you want to get it at 17% off, you can get it at the link in the description below. Caveat is I get a small kickback from that, so keep that in mind. Our goal with this one, and like I said, I will have, since I got the version off GMG, I do have all of the DLC for it when they do eventually come out. Depending on how well accepted this is, we may go pretty far. So I am going to do something that we haven't done for a while. We are bringing back an OG character. Character that we haven't done in a long time. Scottish Jessus. Some of you guys may find that borderline offensive to explain it for those of you guys who don't know. There was a live stream a long time ago where we were talking about Braveheart, and one of my viewers said that instead of calling it Braveheart, or the guy's name who I do not remember off the top of my head, they called him Scottish Jessus, and it was kind of funny, and we ended up making a what do you call it, a Skyrim character based off of it. And we kind of played around with the lore a little bit. We ended up going with a two-handed Paladin, basically. And that's basically what we're going to go here. We may start off with a sword and board for initially, if that's what we have to do. But we will get most likely a two-hander fairly soon. Unless, of course, we just decide we like the shield better. But we can go either or. Scotty in the series went two-hander, and obviously Braveheart was a two-hander, so that's probably what we're going to go with. I can't see what he looks like, so we're going to stick with young for now. No, I don't want to change anything, so let's leave it as is. Class. All right, so an obscure knight of poor renown who collapsed roaming the land. Sturdy, owning to high vitality and stout armor. Kind of sounds like what we're looking for. Mercenary. A mercenary and veteran of the battlefield. High dexterity allows masterful wielding of dual scimitars. Or scimitars. Is it scimitars or scimitars? I've always called them scimitars, but I believe the correct pronunciation is scimitars. I will let you guys tell me in the comments section below. One of you guys will drop some lore bunny knowledge on me. Warrior. Descendant of the northern warriors famed for their brawn. Utilizing high strength to wield a heavy battle axe. Except he looks kind of douchey. The Herald, a formal herald who journeyed to finish a quest undertaken, wields a sturdy spear and employs a gentle restorative miracle. Because he has a miracle, that's going to be faith. That looks like very similar to what we would want for Scotty. We have the Thief, a common thief and pitiful deserter, wields a dagger intended for backstabs alongside a military issue bow. No. An assassin who stalks their prey from the shadows, favors sorceries in addition to thrusting swords. Interesting. I wouldn't think of a... You know, that is interesting because I don't know if this is just my misconception of assassins, but I always grew up in assassins were like dual wielders. You know, I think my first real interpretation or experience with assassins was from Dark Age of Camelot's Stealther series. So looking at the Infiltrator, the Shadowblade, and the what was the other one? Nightblade? No. Nightshade. There we go. Now, the Nightshade was a caster, now that I think about it, but that was more his race than... he came from the realm of Hibernia, which was a casting race. So basically all of them have some magic, and his magic really wasn't worth mentioning. So I wonder if like D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, which is kind of what a lot of these games were built on, not directly, but loosely, I wonder if the assassins in D&D had magic using... I never played D&D personally. I did buy some of the books because they were on sale at a garage sale, but other than like loosely perusing them, I never went into them, which is my bad. So let me know, some of you who are more familiar, do you think of assassins as sorcerers? I know Black Desert Online that just came out, the sorceress, I think it was, or the Sork, was basically a casting melee. So an assassin. It was kind of interesting. Then we have the sorcerer. Oh, the outfit looks badass, but it looks like Charlie Sheen wearing a robe. That just doesn't work for me. A loner who left former academia to pursue further research commands soul sorceries using high intelligence. Pyromancer. I don't know why he looks like a Viking with swag, but he does. A pyromancer from a remote region who manipulates flame. Also an adept close combat warrior who wields a hand axe. Interesting. Then we have the cleric. A traveling cleric who collapsed from exhaustion channels high faith to cast many and varied miracles. And then we have the deprived, naked and of unknown origin, either an unfathomable fool in life or was stripped of possessions upon burial. Now you'll notice the deprived, which is usually the quote unquote hardest character. The reason is you'll notice his stats are all 10s, whereas everybody else's stats kind of go up and down. And usually, in my experience from reading builds and such along those lines, there is the argument about going with deprived or going with something that gives you an edge up. The nice thing about the deprived is his stats are more lower, so that you can easily quote unquote not waste points. You'll notice he's at level 1 while the rest of these guys have some levels for the most part. So he's level 1, which means he has the most points and experience to gain as he goes up. The argument usually comes in though, however, is you'll notice he does have 10 in every stat, where in Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 1, if I recall, he didn't quite have even stats out like that. He just had lower stats. Whereas this, for instance, he has 14 attunement. So let's say we were going to play something that needed attunement, we might want to pick him up to get us there quicker. Whereas with the deprived, we are going to have to level a little bit more. So I think our options here, honestly, if I'm looking at it kind of like I would think of Scottish Jesus, we would be looking at something more along the lines of either the Knight, maybe the Herald. The Herald is actually pretty much close to it. The only problem with the Herald is he's using a spear. The other option could be the Cleric. The problem with the Cleric is he's a little further in the faith line than I'm not sure we want to go that far. Now you look at, we've got Vigor of 10 and Strength of 12. Here we have Vigor of 12, Strength of 13. So a little bit more hit points, but not that much strength. I mean, it's about the same. So, and then if we went with, what was it? This guy right here. I don't know. This guy seems to be a pretty good option. His int is kind of garbage, but he's got pretty decent vite. He's got, and I don't know what the difference between vitality and vigor is here. I'll have to relearn what the stats are. It looks like they've got some interesting stats. Usually attunement is the number of spells that you can have. So the Herald will probably have 1 heal and 1 ability to use it. Whereas the Cleric will have, it looks like 2 spells. Yes. So the Herald has 1, the Cleric has 2. Interesting. And then obviously these guys have 0. So I'm thinking the Herald. I like spears. I like the idea of that. We'll be ditching that spear most likely pretty quickly. But I think we're going to go with the Herald. That seems to be a good option for us. So we'll start with that. Burial Gift. Now these usually have some hidden meaning and some semblance that you won't figure out until later in the game. So sometimes they tell you what they do, and sometimes they're a mystery. So Life Ring, a ring with a small red jewel, raises maximum hit points. Warm Blessing, Holy Water, fully restores his hit points and cures ailments. It's usually, if I remember right, the Divine Blessing is a one-time use though. Hidden Blessing, Pure Blessed Holy Water, fully restores FP. I'm assuming that's faith points, so probably mana, maybe? Black Firebomb. Firebomb charged with a special black powder, an uncouth gift for the departed. So it's a bomb. Pretty useless. Not useless, but it's not something you want to waste your thing on. Fire Gem. Material used to upgrade to fire weapons, more appropriately for a warrior than pretty trinkets. I like the idea of Fire Gem. That's interesting. That means usually in Dark Souls, you have a couple different ways to build things. They have builds that scale. Basically, for instance, let's say certain weapons scale off strength, certain weapons scale off dexterity. So if you have a scaling weapon, usually you're going to pick a strength weapon and then you're going to pump strength, the dex weapon pump dex, or a balanced build that goes between the two, so you can switch back and forth. Or you'll have usually your enchanted weapons like fire, electricity, etc. And those, from what I understand, usually do not scale off of strength and dex. They scale usually off of, they either don't scale period, or they scale off like a magic stat. Usually, I believe, though, they don't scale, period. So there are a couple that do. I think they were like the dark weapons or magic weapons. I don't remember. I didn't get that far into it, so I may be talking out of my ass a little bit. Somebody will probably correct me. So if I go with the fire gem, which is kind of what I'm envisioning Scottish Jesus being, is a healing, two-handed wielding fire sword. The fire gem actually kind of sounds appropriate. The only issue with that is probably we'll find fire gems in the game later, so it may not be worth it. Sovereignless soul. Sovereignless soul of one who slept beside you, used to acquire many souls. So that's going to give you a nice little boost early on. Might be good for maybe one of the people who go with the 10-10-10-10-10 build. Rusted gold coin. Burial item for good fortune after death. Greatly increases item discovery for a short while. That's interesting. I don't know how that would work. So is that just like a generic 10% item or 20%, 30%, whatever? That could be pretty cool. Basically, if I'm reading it right, it's like a buff that you get that's going to allow you to find things quicker. And a lot of times you need a weapon to drop off a certain group of monsters, so you'll end up farming them repeatedly, and something like that might be beneficial. Cracked red eye orb. Online play item, one use only. Become a dark spirit and invade another world. It's a PvP item. Allows you to go in and gank people if that's what you want to do. It's one use only. Not worth it. Branch of a young white birch. Perhaps an offering of peace. Can be used to blend into environment, but only once. Interesting. That sounds kind of like a stealthing item or a cloaking item. Interesting enough, all of these items compared to some of the other items that you've gotten in previous Dark Souls games, none of them seem to be a secret, so to speak. They all seem to be pretty open, mostly consumables. In fact, I would say all of them except for the life ring are consumables. So we're not really going to worry about the life ring right off the bat. We're going to go with the fire gem because I'm going to want to turn that sword into a fire sword if I can, fairly early on. Now, not our spear. Probably wait till we find something good. All right, let's look at our face presets. We have the Northern Warrior. No. No. Why does it look like somebody squished his face? I mean, like, what the fuck happened with that chin? Look at that, dude. Like, all of them had this, like, mega point. I mean, this dude's even worse. He looks like a man who was made out of putty and then left on the dashboard in my car in August and melted. Ugh. All right. What the fuck happened to you, man? I mean, at least you got a decent-sized chin, but it looks like somebody knocked your eyeballs up into your forehead. I mean, like, look at the... I don't think this dude can see. His eyes are actually up inside his head, behind his forehead. He has to literally walk around like this with his head tilted back so he can look down his nose at your ass. All right. Katarina Merrymaker? I thought that said Katarina Moneymaker. I was like, what is this, some kind of prostitute? I just don't understand. Okay. That's probably, other than the fact that he looks like he's an orange, probably one of the better looking individuals. That looks like somebody, honestly, and I mean no disrespect, this may sound slightly racist, and I'm trying not to, but it looks like an Asian person had sex with one of those alien grays from like the X-Files, and this is what came out. He just looks funky. I don't even understand how you can possibly make someone uglier than this guy, but they have managed to make it happen. This is a pig man. Dude, a pig had sex with this guy. Right here. That's hideous. A lifeless face, almost that of a hollow. Londor is a realm of the hollow and the old. And then we've got this dude. Oh, it looks like some kind of elfish creature. The features of the old gods, as it is from legend, they say that children born like this are fated to be taken to the Boreal Valley. Interesting. It doesn't look like you're able to actually adjust your face. I'm going with that. All right, so we can jack ourselves up. Burly lower body, small head, large head. We're going to go with a burly upper body. That looks like what I would think Scottish Jesus would look like. All in all, not too bad. Not too bad. So I think we can adjust the facial detail, yes? We can. We can. I'm not... I'm probably not going to, but it looks like you can adjust the age. You can make yourself more manly or more femininely. I'm going to try and crank this to more manly. Not sure if that's doing me any good. And we're going to jack it towards strong. Wow, he was really pumping the weakness. Okay. Changes will be discarded. No, that's fine. Okay, there we go. Now he bounce out. Face shape. You know, I'm probably not going to do that. Hair. I will change his hair because that one's kind of hideous. Whoops. 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 Okay. Sorry. We're definitely changing his hair because, I mean, this looks like it's just hideous. That's the micro Goku. That's the douchebag. You know what I call that? This looks like the evil British haircut. Like, for reals. It literally looks like a villain in a British flick. No. No. Hell no. What the fuck? It just keeps getting worse. These are women's haircuts. Like, I don't understand. Are you fucking kidding me? Did I somehow select the wrong hairdos? It's like my options are like Justin Bieber, emo dude, or chicks. That's... Oh, okay, I guess we will go with the Goku, because there really is no other good option. I'm sure somebody is going to be able to find a way to make these look badass. I am not that person. We'll go with that. Not fucking with your brows. It's already jacked. Brow color. Beard. Oh, yeah, baby. Why does it always look like moss is growing off his face? That is hideous. That's the homeless man. No. No. If you wear this, you deserve to be skull-fucked in the game. I'm just saying. You really do. This isn't too bad. That's not bad. No. Hell no. Fuck that. All right, so our options really are this one or this one. I think we're going to go with that one. I like that the best. And let's see if we can't find a color that's just not complete cancer. I can't even tell the difference. Like, it's so light. There's no way to even tell. So we'll go with the white. We'll go with the Richard Gere. Eyelashes? Are you fucking kidding me? No. Hell no. Pupils. Color of pupils. Oh, that's pretty cool. We're gonna go with the blue because I like that. Not changing that. I would like to change... I would like to change the background color, though. That's pretty cool. Like, notice his... the whites of his eyes look like everything's been broken. I still don't like that hair. Like, I really want to find a haircut that's better, but, like, there are none. I mean, they're just all ass. I guess we're going with the evil British guy, because that's about as good as we can get. And let's try and change the color up. Let's go down here. All right, change these a bit. See if I can get some kind of, like, blondish. I don't know my color's good enough to be able to get blonde. Yeah, we're just making it worse. Now we're too green. Can we get some more? It's not terrible. I feel like I did nothing. I really wish games would adopt the color palettes like you can get from Photoshop, where you actually have like the whole color palette that you can click in. I don't feel like I have that option here, and it kind of sucks because I really don't want this. But I feel like the more I tweak it, the worse it gets. I mean, we literally have purple like crazy now. Let's see if we crank green really hard. Really hard. Okay. Keep going. Can I use the mouse for this maybe? Yeah, that's not doing me any good. So there's no way to even click in here to try and like... Ugh, let's try and tone the blue down a bit. think we need to actually tone the green down. Yeah, I'm making it work. Okay, we're almost there. Turn the blue up just a bit. No, too much. I mean, that's almost like a blondish. Oh, fuck me, dude. This is why I don't... No. Cosmetics. Tone around eyes. Eye socket. Eye brightness. Eyelid color. Eyeline. You have every... Lipstick? Really? Go fuck yourself. They have everything but the whites of his eyes. Like, can we just get somebody that doesn't look like he's been smoking pot for like the last 35 years? Can we do that? Is that possible? All right. Save to favorites. Sure. All right. Are we done? I believe we're done. All right. Let's finalize creation. Okay to start the game with this character. Yes, please. For the love of God. Seriously, I'm crawling out of a fucking grave? That is really morbid. and pretty badass. Damn. All right, let's make sure that the graphics are all set up appropriately. Whoops. No, cancel that. There we go. Blood, brightness, crossplay, mouse sensitivity, screen mode, quality setting high. Seems good. All right. Looks fairly good, other than the fact that we are paler than hell. So there's going to be our parry button. There's our block. There's our big attacks. All right. And then we still have the... Okay, that's a kick. That's nice. Okay. And then we can drop a shield and we can power stance. Okay. Can we roll at least fast? Wow. Dude, look at the height on that jump, dude. My dude's getting some ups there. Okay. Well, I think we're in a pretty good spot, my friends. Let's check out our equipment. Kite shield, spear. Do we not get our little fire gem, or is it not under this area? I guess it's not under here. There's our fire gem. Infused to create fire weapon. Nice. And heal. So I'm assuming we cycle to get there. There it is. Then we can cast our heal. Good times. All right. Well, what do you say we get started, my friends? That's going to do it for this first introductory episode. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next clip.